Hi everyone, I'm Daniela, and today I'm going to share my own story about my mother-in-law. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with my awful mother-in-law, Lily, for long. My husband Ian kicked her out early in our marriage, and here's why. I met Ian in college since we were studying the same subject. He was very shy and didn't talk to many people, but we bonded over our love for music and started dating quickly. We fell in love fast. Ian was an amazing person, but he had a troubling past. His dad died when he was 12, and his mom quickly remarried. Sadly, his new stepfather was very abusive. I won't go into details because it's sensitive, but it was bad enough for Ian to get a restraining order against him when he turned 18. When Ian told me his story, I wondered why his mom didn't protect him. I asked Ian, "Why didn't your mom do anything when her husband was hurting you? Didn't she know?" "She knew everything, Daniela," Ian replied. "But she didn't want to leave him because she loved him. I begged her to help, but she just told me to get over it. She even yelled at me when I got the restraining order." "That's terrible, Ian. She should have protected you. Why do you still talk to her?" "I barely talk to her," Ian said. "I told her I'd support her if she left her husband, but until then, I keep my distance." I admired Ian even more after hearing his story. He worked hard to support himself through college, since there was no college fund for him. He was a great student and got a good job right after graduation. I also had a good job, so we got engaged early, but it took a long time to get married because of Lily. After Ian got his job, Lily suddenly decided to leave her husband, claiming it was because of Ian. She manipulated him into taking care of her financially. I warned Ian that his mom was playing with his emotions. "Ian, I don't like how your mom is handling this. She's making it seem like it's all your fault." "What can I do, Daniela? It's true that she had to leave him because of me. Now that she's choosing me, it's my duty to look after her. I understand you want to care for your mom, but she's trying to control you emotionally," I told him. But it was hard to make Ian see that his mom wasn't really choosing him. She just knew he could support her now. There was another problem with Lily. She hated me. She would say things like, "Just because Ian's marrying you doesn't mean you'll have him all to yourself. He's my son first and your husband later." I replied, "It's funny you say that, Lily. I don't remember you ever putting your son first, and I don't mind if he looks after you. We're both his family. Don't try to be clever, Daniela. I can throw you out of Ian's life if I want to. I know you make less money than him, so it's clear you're marrying my son for money," she said. "I'll prove it to him and make him leave you. Then I'll have all his attention and money, and you won't get anything," Lily threatened. I knew she wasn't going to be a good mother-in-law. She wasn't even a good mom. But her twisted thinking really shocked me. It was clear she didn't want Ian to spend money on anyone but her. Ian was already giving her a lot, so I didn't understand why she wanted more. That would become important later. Fast forward a year, and I finally got married. I was so happy to marry the man of my dreams. We were all set to move into the house I had inherited from my parents, but my joy only lasted a week. Just a week after we moved in, Lily showed up with all her stuff. She walked in like she owned the place and started choosing a room. I watched in confusion and asked, "What are you doing, Lily? Why did you bring all your things?" "Are you dumb or something, Daniela? This is my son's house now, so I'll be staying here too," she replied. "What are you talking about? You can't just walk in and demand to live here." "Listen to me, you little," she snapped. "This is my son's place, and I know he pays most of the bills, so I have every right to live here too. I warned you that I could kick you out of my son's life if I wanted to. This is just the beginning, Daniela. If you think you can throw me out, I'd like to see you try." I was stunned by Lily's nerve. I couldn't believe how confident she was. I decided to talk to Ian about it since I wasn't going to entertain Lily's outrageous demands. To my surprise, Ian already knew she was moving in. He begged me to let her stay until he figured out what to do. He didn't want his mom on the street and reminded me of his duty to her. I was really angry, but I gave him time to sort things out. Nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. Just a week after Lily moved in, I saw her invite someone over. From their conversation, I realized this woman was an interior designer. I didn't stop them because I had already had several fights with Lily and knew how nasty she could get. So I decided to deal with the problem if it actually became one. The next day, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered, not thinking much of it, and was surprised to find out it was the interior designer who had come to my house. She asked to meet me at a cafe because she had something important to tell me. I was alarmed and immediately set up a meeting. I had no idea how much my life was about to change. When I met with Sylvia, she said, "Hi, I'm Sylvia. You've probably seen me around before." "Hello, Sylvia. Yes, I've seen you. I guess my mother-in-law hired you for something. She mentioned you're an interior designer," I replied. "Yes, I am," Sylvia confirmed. "But some of the things your mother-in-law asked for didn't seem right, so I thought you should know." "Oh? What's the issue, Sylvia?" I asked, a bit concerned. "Actually, I didn't even know why Lily called you. This house is mine, and she's just staying here for a while. I was getting a little suspicious when she brought you over." Sylvia looked shocked. "Oh my God, this house is yours. Then you need to know something right away. It's a good thing I came to you. Your mother-in-law is trying to install cameras in your room. She wants to spy on you and your husband." I was shocked and disgusted by what Lily was planning. The idea that she wanted to invade our privacy like that was horrifying. Wow, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, she does this. "Does she know that what she's trying to do is illegal?" I asked. "Yes, she knows. I made sure she understood that, and I tried to convince her not to do it, but she threatened to hire someone else. I was worried about your safety, so I came to tell you," Sylvia explained. "Thank you so much for telling me, Sylvia. I'll always be grateful to you. Who knows what would have happened if you hadn't warned me. This is insane. I can't believe she would do something so horrible and illegal. But before I turned Lily down, I wanted to make sure you knew about this," Sylvia said. "You did me a huge favor, Sylvia," I replied. "And you know what? I'm going to hire you instead. I've realized we do need some cameras in the house, and I'm hoping you can help me set them up. Plus, I'd like to remodel my office as well." Sylvia was excited by the idea, so we made a plan. I had already started to suspect something was off with Lily as soon as she moved in. Yan and I had been away from the house for long periods, and I noticed someone else had been in the house besides Lily. I even found some strange clothes in the dryer that didn't belong to us. That's why I decided to install cameras in the house, especially near Lily's room. I wasn't going to put them in her room because that would be wrong and illegal. Sylvia and I carried out our plan perfectly. She didn't reject Lily's request but promised to bring the best cameras. In the meantime, Sylvia secretly set up cameras in our house while Lily was out shopping. Sylvia is a pro and hid the cameras well. Afterward, I told Ian about the cameras. "Ian, I need to tell you something. I've installed some cameras in the house," I said. "What? Why? Is something going on?" Ian asked, surprised. "Yes, Ian. Do you remember the weird clothes I found in the dryer? There's been other strange stuff happening. I think someone else is staying in our house." "Oh my God, that's insane," Ian exclaimed. "Yes, and all the signs point to your mother. Look, I know you trust her, but you need to wake up. She's not who you think she is," I said. Ian started to defend Lily and got mad at me, but I reminded him of her awful behavior, which quickly shut him up. We talked about a lot of things, but I didn't mention what Lily tried to do with Sylvia. I wanted Ian to realize on his own that something suspicious was happening. Once he agreed with me about the cameras, I could see my plan coming together. I also made sure Ian understood that we couldn't tell Lily about the cameras yet. He agreed and promised not to say anything. The next day, Ian and I went to work as usual. We both had direct access to the cameras in the house, but we were busy all day and didn't have time to check the footage. However, when we got home, we sat down together and watched what had happened throughout the day. You wouldn't believe what we found. Lily was having Ian's abusive stepfather over when we weren't home. This awful man was using our resources and staying with Lily, even though we had a restraining order against him. Ian was horrified by what Lily had done. He was furious and ready to take drastic action. I had never seen Ian so angry before. Before I could ask what to do, he yelled for Lily to come into our room. When she saw us watching the CCTV footage, she turned pale. "Ian, what's going on? Why did you call me?" Lily asked, clearly nervous. "Mom, why did you bring that abuser into our house? Who gave you permission?" Ian demanded. "What are you talking about, Ian? You must be mistaken. I don't talk to your stepfather anymore. Remember, you made me choose, and I chose you," Lily replied, trying to deflect. Yes, you chose me, and I've supported you financially and even convinced Daniela to let you stay here. And this is how you repay me? Who did you really choose, Mom? Ian pressed. Lily's defense crumbled as Ian played the footage of her bringing his stepfather into the house. She turned pale and started sweating, realizing she was caught. How dare you invade my privacy and record me? You can't do this to me. Lily shouted, trying to regain control. Oh really? Is setting up a camera in my room to spy on me right? I retorted. If you can do that, why can't I put cameras in my own house? What are you talking about, Daniela? Ian asked, shocked. Mom tried to put cameras in our room, I explained. She even hired an interior designer for it, but the designer was honest and told me everything. Ian was furious. He felt the betrayal deeply and confronted Lily. She tried to justify her actions, claiming she was trying to protect Ian from me, but it was clear she was lying. How dare you accuse Daniela like that? Ian exploded. You're the one who betrayed me, used my money, and supported the man who abused me. No more lies, Mom. Get out of my house. I never want to see you again. Lily begged and cried, clinging to Ian's legs, but he was resolute. He packed her bags and threw them outside, telling her to leave. When she refused, Ian threatened to call the cops, and she finally left. That night, I comforted Ian as he dealt with the trauma of his mother's betrayal. The next day, we reported his stepfather to the police for breaking the restraining order and had all the locks in our house changed, thanks to Sylvia's help. Lily kept calling, begging for forgiveness, but we blocked her. She had no money and nowhere to go after her husband was arrested. She tried showing up at our house multiple times, but we always threatened to call the police. Eventually, Lily left town, and we haven't heard from her since. Ian went back to therapy to deal with his trauma, and we also attended couples counseling to improve our communication and work on the issues that Lily had caused in our marriage. Now we're doing much better and living a good life, while Lily is somewhere else,